Uh-oh. Sorry about that. Um, I wanted to talk about the power of humility. I know you're not gonna see a lot of stuff moving because um, I just want people to listen to the message. Okay. Um, a lot of people think that it is weak to walk away from a fight. But in actuality, it's the best thing to do. I'm going to say this about my life. I remember when I was in the 5th grade and I had already had a reputation of being a really, really good fighter. Now, I didn't come off saying that I was a good fighter or anything. It was just a lot of people always tried to pick on me. And because I was kind of nerdy and very, very intelligent, um, people thought that I didn't have those things called those hands, okay? And then people found out that not only that, but I'm crazy. I'm not gonna stop. I'm going to body slam you. I'm gonna do some techniques so you ain't gonna never want to try to mess with me again. You know. So by the time that happened, like in the 4th grade, the 3rd grade, 2nd grade, 1st grade, kindergarten, preschool, all the time. Somebody's always trying to pick on me, talking about I dress like a white girl, I talk too proper. They just didn't like, I don't like the way you look. I don't like the way you talk. You're so lame. You're so whack. You're so, um, yeah. So anyhow, so I've had my share. When I got into the 5th grade, did I have a fight then? No, I was about to have a fight then. But people started trembling a little bit. But because people were afraid, like in the 5th grade, to fight me, because I had already fought. Like by the time I think my 2nd grade, I was fighting 4th graders and stuff, because the 2nd graders that were my age, they didn't want to fight me after a while, so they'll get their big brothers and sisters. Then I whoop on them. And then they all scared, so then they get somebody older trying to fight me in the 2nd grade. I kid you not, this is crazy. But anyhow, when I got to the 5th grade, I started noticing how same car rolling around, huh? I started noticing how my life, how people were getting a kick out of once I fight someone else. They would be scared, and those people wouldn't pick on me anymore because they knew they couldn't beat me. But after a while, that is somebody else always trying to challenge you and take you. And I was like, I didn't feel like going through it. Not that I'm not up for the challenge, but I felt like that was not my main goal. My main goal was just to go to school. I had a lot of issues anyway dealing with home, so I didn't have to use that anger. So I could have used that anger for playing and enjoying my life, So yeah, there. So I was about to get into a fight. That's what happened. I was about to get into a fight, and one of them was supposed to be my close friends. And when you're in elementary and high school, you get into it with a lot of people who are, friends. Friends, they argue. You don't really know who your friends are. Your friends are the people that are close to you and you agree on something at that age. So you're always happy, and then you're fighting, and then you're going back, back and forth, back and forth. Well, this one time I was getting into it with someone who I thought was my friend, and she was kind of a bully though. But I just backed down from her. I was just like, they started kind of like picking, and people around trying to instigate us to fight. And I was just like, you know what? No. I'm just not going to talk to you, and I'm not going to do this. And they was like, "Oh, you're scared, you're scared, you're scared." And I was like, "You know what? Okay." And I kept going, and I was getting tormented for like a couple of weeks, but I was just like, if I know my anger, so I know if I go off on one person, I'm going off for everybody that's around me, and they knew that, and I just refused not to be in that negativity. Now, the power in that is because eventually people started leaving me alone. I didn't have any other fights for to the end of the school year. People respected me too, and they understood that what I said really meant what I said. A no meant no, okay? So it is power. I learned that was power in humility, okay? You are in control of yourself that is not, a form of weakness. That is a form of self-control and self-preservation, because eventually there's going to be, if no one else can beat you, just like, Goliath give a big head. I could have got the big head and said, okay, and my temper, just let my temper control and take over and just fight everyone. And then they would have been in total fear. And then I probably could have got jumped, yeah. And it didn't happen. But instead of me doing that, I took control and said, no matter what you feel, what you think, I'm going to do what I believe is necessary. And yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about, was the power of humility. The power of humility will make your enemies bow to you. The power of humility will make your enemies look like a fool and become your footstool. The power of humility will be able to show the light out of darkness. The power of humility will show you just how strong and resistant you really are. The power of humility will save your life. I've seen that in my life today. Even though I talk about how people were mean to me and people say, oh yeah, that's living in the past. I'm not saying it to say I'm still there. I'm saying that because your past usually dictates your future. If you forget about talking about your battle that you went through, how people are going to know that you're victorious? They're just going to think you automatically was there. It didn't come that way. The power of humility gave me the power to be victorious in my battle, okay? When I came to this area, when I came to Fort Wayne, when I got out of the States, it was always, every time I had something that happened good in my life, it was because an obstacle that happened to me. And I had to humble myself. I had to change my path. I had to say, what is my next step? What did I have to do? And some of that stuff, I had to drop a lot of people. I had to leave relationships. I had to leave jobs that gave me a lucrative salary. I had to get away from the people that I was comfortable with and learn something totally different, new. I had to be okay with people saying that I don't like you because I don't like you. I just simply hate your guts, and I would do anything to kill you. I had to be okay with that, okay with saying, okay, I have to do this, I have to do that. So the power of humility, like I said, it has saved my life. Going through this time, if I didn't have humility, I wouldn't have been able to walk back in that shelter and say, hey, right now I need to go and start over. Power of humility made me stay away from people who was very verbally and physically abusive to me, and start over from scratch. The power of humility was able, showed me that I can do all things because I had to start over from, like I said, from scratch. Power of humility let me serve in an area where people that looked like me wasn't serving in. The people that they were serving looked like me, not the people who, you know what I'm saying? The power of humility showed me how I could get to the top, how God can place me at the top and do all that. So, I just want to say that, understand, I'm so grateful to operate in it. It's one of the best tools out of my life. And God always shows miracles out of my life. And it says that in the Bible, but I have to give credit what credit is due, because God is in control of all of this, But the power of humility has really, operating out of it has really saved my life, and it's brought me to a lot of places and a lot of plateaus that, brought me out of a lot of plateaus that I would have never got out of. I remember when I was acting so crazy, and I know I was out of line for doing it. And I got, disciplined for it, and I repented, and I started from the battle. I said, you know what? If this is what, I'm getting a brain fart. It's so crazy. If this is where I really want to be, then I'm going to do everything right. I'm not going to be a swindler to people who swindle me. Because sometimes the power of humility it's tough. It's tough. It's hard. It is hard. I'm not going to say that it's the best thing, but it really saves your life. Because when you look at it and you are really operating out of humility, you can see the bigger picture. And I saw that this is something that I just had to go through to get to where I'm going. You know, if the best things in life were easy, everybody would have it. If dreams were easy, then everybody would have dreams. Some people can't even dream. Some people cannot dream. And it doesn't matter where you live. I don't know why people say, oh yeah, they living in such hard times they can't even dream. No, that's not true. That's not true, okay? But yeah, I don't want to go on too many other tangents. But like I said, the power of humility will make you do right. The power of humility will save your life, okay? And if it can save my life, it will save yours. Hopefully something I said or done will help you on your journey. Stay tuned to Journey to Jerusalem. Thank you.